Computer. So hello you guys and welcome to our Q&A all about 9-week control freak. We have Katie and Amandine here, and I'm actually going to switch it to speaker view so that we know. Oops, okay, we'll stay gallery for a minute until I have you guys speaking, and then I'll switch it over. But we have Katie and Amandine here to teach us and just kind of educate us all about everything 9-week control freak, talk about their experiences. I know Amandine is still wrapping up. She's going to be finishing week 9 or starting week 9 today, right? You're starting it today? Yeah, so she's going to be wrapping up her journey as she had to wait for a little bit of her equipment to get here. Yeah, I thought, yes, we are recording. Yes, it is being recorded. So is being recorded. So excited to just hear about your guys' experience. So I want to open it up and let you guys kind of start with just sharing about your experience with 9-week control freak, kind of physical, mental, any game changers for you guys, and what your journey was like with the program. So feel free, one of you ladies, to just kick it off. How about we'll start it with Katie, because Katie's gone through the full program, and then I'll switch it over to Amandine after that.
All right. Hey, everybody. So I was like really nervous to start this program just because it's like coinciding with like going back to work and new job and all this kind of stuff. So it was a little scary to me, but you know, the whole idea of the program is about taking control of certain aspects of your life and really like mentally focusing on that. So I just kind of went all in. I prepped with Ultimate Portion Fix the week before it started, and I lost 2 pounds just doing that. Not that it's about the scale, but like it felt really good just to kind of like really clean out and get going, getting ready for the program. And then I mean, it hits like really quick. Like day 1 is like manageable. You feel like, oh, I got this, and then it just kind of keeps getting harder and harder and harder. And I was like looking through my notes. With being in the test group, they give you these like trackers to fill out, which were a godsend to come back and look at these. But writing down like just my thoughts of how I felt each day, about each workout, and just kind of seeing where I started and where I went, is like super, I don't know, just humbling, and feel so much stronger. Each phase really does build on the other one. I would say, in my opinion, phase 2 is the hardest. So like that second 3 weeks, it's definitely the hardest one. And then phase 3 kind of just like takes it home and makes you feel like a badass and whatnot. So, I mean, I think it was great in combination with nutrition and just the style of the program and the variety of the workouts. And then also the equipment, like that door tracker is like, I love it. I think it's super cool. And yeah, and I wasn't a huge like bottom fan because I started like my very first program was 80-day obsession. And so I was kind of like really like put off by it because it was just so hard and I wasn't mentally ready to work out. And so I was really nervous with that. But like you can tell that 9-week control freak is like her heart and soul, and she loves it. And like I don't know. There's just something about it that it's like my new favorite program.
Oh, awesome. I'm so excited for the tracker, and you just made me even more excited talking about it. Like I was already excited for like my home gym to be built and to like have more equipment in my home gym, and then hearing you talk about it and it being like one of your favorite parts, I'm like, I can't wait for my tracker. That's awesome. Amandine, do you want to share a little bit about your experience?
Hi, everyone. Well, I would say like 12 minutes will never feel that long in that workout, right? Well, I would say that I never thought I would do that much burpees, first of all. Yeah, right. And I just think physically, yes, the first week you're like, well, that feels okay. It's quite fun to play with the ball, to play with the tracker. And then things get like quite serious. And every time you're like, oh, I can't do it. Oh, I need to modify. And every time you just like, oh, I survived. And you just go like that every day. And now I'm in the week 9, so the last week. And when I look at the moves and what I can do, I'm like, whoa. I mean, if you just told me like what, 9 weeks is what, 2 months and a half ago, that I could do that, I was like, no way. So I think the program is really building up your strength, your velocity, your cardio, and you don't really see it every workout. You give it your all. You have moves that are harder than other. You crawl on the floor so much, so please clean up before, because otherwise you're just gonna wipe your full floor. And you just feel like after 9 weeks you are able to do so much hard things. And you're like, if you had things like, oh, I have 2 months and a half to do that much stuff, you're like, oh, I don't even know where to begin. Okay, how can I do that? And then she just take you through it, and you don't even feel it, and it goes so fast. And really, like, the move, sometimes she just demo the moves, and you're like, I don't understand what muscle this is gonna work. And then the next day you understand. Then the next day or the 2 days after, you really understand what's going on. So I would say really, it's because I've begun Beachbody in last March. I've done I don't know, six programs, something like that. And this one, I think, is the most complete I have ever seen. It's something that really works she said she works only the upper body, but really, like, it's leg day every day, right? Yeah. Like autumn style. So I think it's really like physically, well, it's not for a total beginner, I would say, because I think you can get discouraged really quickly. Like, what do I do? There is too much stuff to go around. So I think it's really, you need to be in the right place to, like, I really want to motivate myself. You really need to be, like she said, in the right place to be a control freak, to be ready to be in control of yourself, to be ready to, like, this is not my best workout, but next time it will be better, and not let go of it. And I would say the change in your physical condition that you will see in 9 weeks is really unmatched. It's really like, I never thought I could do that much burpees with the lunges or whatever, jumps in between. So yeah, it's really good that way.
Awesome. I am so excited for this. I actually have some questions for you guys, just to kind of like get us going and getting started here with some of the questions. Also, you guys, if you didn't know, Amande's in France. So
you can hear by my accent, I think.
Good evening. And my first question for you guys is, obviously I'm your coach, so I know your guys's workout spaces are a little different. Like, Katie, I know you're like me, and we have our garage, and we've kind of converted our garages into our home gym. Where Monday, I know you're working out in a freaking hallway. Like, every time I see you working out, I'm like, oh my goodness, like, it's literally a hallway, you guys. And so I know a lot of people had fear with the tracker, and how do I install the tracker? What is the tracker like? Is it something permanent? So can you guys walk us through a little bit with your guys' trackers and how you guys set those trackers up? Because I know you each set them up each set them up differently from each other. So can you guys walk us through a little bit with the tracker, and what happens if I am in a teeny tiny apartment? Like, how do I get it set up, or how can I permanently install this thing?
So like Ariel said, I'm in a garage, but I'm also using like the door that goes into like my house. Obviously that's the only door. So mine's a pretty sturdy door. I'm fortunate with that. But it's also like clear across, like my gym's on the other side of my garage. So I'm just like in one little bubble by my door. I put in some nails to like hang up my yoga mat. So I literally just have this like little bubble right by my door to get into my garage. And like the wall is right there. So that's like it's annoying sometimes. There's like, really like chest flies, and occasionally do some side to side things, but it's really not that big of a deal. Most of the time you can kind of manipulate your movement, and like I will just like offset. Like, you don't have to be completely middle most of the time. Really the only time I would recommend being like direct on with your track is like ab moves, because it might like pull you in like a weird way and whatnot. So I mean, I have a pretty limited space as well, maybe not as limited as her, but I definitely just kind of stay in one little area. And if you think about it too, the point that like Anna made when she kind of heard backlash about the track was like, they're on set and they can't really like spread out either, and have all of this abundance of room. Like, they have to stay in their own little bubble. So it's really totally manageable.
It's awesome. And a Monday?
Yeah, well, at the beginning, me, it was like literally on my, because we have big windows and it was on my window. But since we are in lockdown again in France, both me and my companion, we are working at home. So of course, then no more room because like literally I can show you me, I have my huge screen, so I cannot move my table to work out anymore. So I literally put it on my bathroom door. Literally. So one time my boyfriend, I get out of the shower and he opened the door when I was doing mountain climber with me.
Oh
No.
So I literally like flew almost in the cupboard in front. I was like, for fuck's sake. So now he knows he doesn't have to open the door again when I'm using the tracker. So yeah, literally it's like the little like hallway between the two bedrooms and the bathroom. And so I have only that space where I can have a door and some space in front. So yeah, like a few moves like skaters on the track or stuff like that, I need to have less amplitude of like less range of amplitude for my movements. But other than that, you can do it literally in fact, yeah, you it's in square feet, not square meters, but like you can do it in like, I don't know, the hallway is like, yeah, 50 square feet. So, something really small and you can do it. You crawl on the floor a lot. So you just need, like some place to put your step on, to have some, I would say some distance from your door, because you will have to have some tension on it. And other than that, you have space. I mean, you don't need a lot of it to do all of the movement. You will just crawl in one place, really. You just crawl around.
Lots of up and down and around.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can do lunges, it's okay.
That is awesome. So, ladies, a question for you. What was your most favorite part? When looking back at your guys' journey, what's like a moment that maybe stood out to you guys that you're proud of, maybe a pivotal moment for you in the program? What was that, or where was that for you guys, if you had one?
Honestly, like, because of like, it was kind of cool in our, like, we have like a test group, like Facebook, there's like 780 of us doing this program together, and then Autumn is in it also, and so she's like posting a lot and doing live chats and whatnot, and so it was kind of fun to hear, and she was like a few weeks ahead of us, about 3 weeks of us in filming. And so sometimes like it would get down to the wire where like our videos would get to us like the day before we had to do it because of editing and whatnot. So it was fun to hear her like kind of talking about what's to come. And like, so I knew going into phase 2 that it's kind of called like phase 2, week 2, I think is like Hell Week. And, or maybe it was week 3, I don't know. But I was like, okay, here we go. Like, I just need to get through this and then maybe it'll be smooth sailing. And it really does. Like, it was, I have the exact date that I wrote down. I was like, this was the freaking hardest workout of my life. And I remember I was getting so frustrated just because a lot of the like I maybe because I'm a dancer, like I would almost say like choreography with the like DCT format and the density one, it's really, sometimes you can get a little overwhelmed of like, okay, I have to do this, and then I'm up and then I'm down. And so like that day, it just was like not working for me. But then I kind of just was like, okay, like calm down, you're fine. And I got through it. And it was like pretty much the end of phase 2 for me, was like, oh, okay, I can do this. I'm great. And I kind of pushed through. And I had like a lot of personal stuff going on. And so then for me, just to kind of like push through like what was happening in my real life and just like focus on me and doing something for me, was like, I felt super, super proud of myself. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, I think for me the best part is where the density run ends. I mean, every time it's like you're not even in 1/3 of the workouts, but that's the hardest part. So every time it's done, you're like, yes, I've done that much done today. It's great. I'm so proud of myself. I mean, it's really 12 minutes, and she's got really inventive of how much you can do in 12 minutes. And I think I really remember Hell Week. Yeah, it's week 6. And because me, I was behind because of my equipment got lost and they had to send it back to France, blah, blah, blah. So I've seen in advance people complaining about Hell Week. So it was awful because I knew I was getting to it. And it's like, when you look back now that I'm in week 9, you're like, it's not that hard when you look at the movement, but the way she puts all of these moves together, it's really like, this one was like, really you wanted to die, clearly. Mm-hmm. But what I really loved about it is she's so much motivational. Like, she has so much motivation, she gives you so much. And I know about a lot of you that have done 80 days obsessions that she would feel cold or not as given as much motivation. It was sometimes why people don't really like autumn like workouts or anything. And I think she's smiling a lot. She's out of like you. She's really doing the same workout as you. And I think it's really inspirational the way she really talks to you. You're like, okay, I can do that. And every day, and the stretches also at the end of the day, every time. I think she's just with you in the morning whenever you do your workout, morning, afternoon, night. She's with you at night just before you go to sleep. She's like talking about your nutrition, about how your day was, about what to do this week, what to do the next week. She talks to you like, not like a friend, but like she's with you on this journey, like she's your personal coach. And I think that's why it really hits home with people, and really people are having amazing result with this program, because you really feel like you owe it to her, to listen to her, to do what she's asking you about. And just to like every day, like you want to tell her like, oh, I've done that, I've been eating well, I'm like super done for this workout. So I think the best part will be the way she talks, really the way she's giving you motivation, because that's really like, that's why I think it will be a really good program for the platform.
And you feel like she's talking to you.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like you feel like she's in the room with you, coaching you, you know?
Yeah. Can you guys both kind of touched based on the density training as well as the nighttime stretches. So can you guys touch more a little bit on this density training concept that she brought to this program, as well as the nighttime stretches, right? Like, this is our first program Beachbody's come out with where you're encouraged to not only plug in for your workout, but you're also encouraged to plug into Beachbody On Demand right before you're going to bed to kind of have that 5-10 minutes to unwind for the day. So can you guys go into a little bit about that for us?
So Amandine's talked a lot about that, like 12-minute like density and whatnot, and it is really hard, and it was fun to kind of like track and try to beat how many reps that you can do. So it really feels like kind of like a competition with yourself, and then like that's what gets you through those 12 minutes of like, okay, I may not be able to keep up with Tanya because she's psycho and amazing, right? But maybe I can keep up in between like Autumn and Kat, right? So, and not Jose either. Like, I just don't even like look at them. And so then after that like is over, you're like, okay, I can do this, and you go into your complex, which is normally like 2 to 3 moves of like really targeting like one muscle area. And then you end that DCT format workout with the Tabata. And in in week 1, it's always like 10 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. And then week 2, 15 and 15. And then week 3, you're in a true Tabata where it's like 20, 10, 20 on, 10 off. And that's like week 3 of each one is crazy, except for in phase 3, she's like, oh, let's do true Tabata the whole time. And you're like, oh, yay. I'm so excited. And then the other ones are Tabata, like a full-on just Tabata day, which are your shortest workouts, and it's a lot in just like an 18-minute chunk of time. And then I don't know, Amandine, do you want to talk about the total body day?
Yeah, I think you have 5 workouts a week, 3 DTCT day. I never got that right, but yeah, the Tabata day, and then the total body cardio. So the total body cardio is basically a normal like fitness workout, I would say. And you're like, oh my god, that's so easy. When it's like a normal workout in any other program, like, oh, I'm gonna do this one compared to the other, you're like, oh yes, I can do this one. So this one is the only one which will be the same during a full phase. That means you will do it 3 times. And I think that's when the tracker, the paper tracker, not the tracker on the door, but the paper one we have, I think it's really useful because you just know the first week what you've done in weights, in reps, whatever. And then it's really nice because the next week you have the new one you're going to feel, and you're like, okay, can I bump up like 1 kilo? Yeah, 1 kilo is 2 pounds, I think. Yeah. So can I bump up 2 pounds on my weight? Can I do 3 more reps on that cardio exercise? So it's basically a list of exercise. You do a number of reps. So for example, you have, I don't know, it was 15 exercise with 15 reps, I would say the first phase. And you don't repeat them, you just do them. You do this workout 3 times. And what is nice is between the first week of the phase and the last week of the phase, you can see how much you can increase, because all of the other workouts you would have done, did they make you like lift more or better at your cardio or pushing 5 seconds more? I don't know. So I think that one is really good to really track what you are doing, because all of the other ones, even if you do the same kind of moves, are never the same. So it's difficult to really compare them because all DTCT day are different, even if you redo some different moves. Or sometimes what she loves to do, she's like, oh, you remember this move, this easy one we did in phase 1? Well, then it's not going to be so easy. And you're like, oh, no.
She builds upon it.
Don't do that.
Awesome. And then with the nighttime routine, what did that change anything for you guys? Was that something that really helped you guys? Because I know that's been something that she's talked quite a bit about in these promos that she's done, is this taking control of your evening. And like, I mean, I've listened to a lot of personal development speakers and stuff like that, and a lot of them talk about that unplugging at night and giving your brain kind of that rest before you go to bed, getting off your screen before you go to bed. So what was your guys' experience like with that evening kind of wind down routine?
I mean, it's like a quick thing to do, just like right before you go to bed. It's like never more than 7 minutes of your time. I want to say 7 or 8 minutes. And it's just something you can like do in your bedroom, like on your floor. It's nothing crazy or weird things. It's just really like stretching out your body, a lot of, meditation in a sense of just like really calming yourself. And I definitely am guilty of like screen time before bed and whatnot, whether it be TV or playing with my phone or something, So she really like does want you to essentially like do that stretch and then like go to bed. Like don't do anything else in between. Like set your alarm before, do all the things, like do the stretch and then go straight to bed.
Cool. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I would say that the first week I was like, oh, I don't really need it. And you're in your bedroom and like, oh no, I have to get my laptop to look at because it's not on the BOD platform yet. So I had that on my computer, and I would say like, it's really useful. The first week I was like, oh, I don't really need it because first week is easy. Well, not the same the weeks after. Like you really need it. It's really, really useful for your muscle. I would say like, no, I cannot even think about not doing it. I mean, at the beginning, like, oh, do I really have 7 minutes? You just don't want to, have the hustle of doing that. Well, it's really useful. She makes you do like some like breathing exercise, some stretching, some meditation with breathing. And it's really useful, and really your muscles are going to be so happy you do that. Really, it's what makes me like, the next day, because some days you have 2 rest days a week. Yes. But sometimes, because she works you like every day, your legs are always sore. So sometimes you just like, do I really need to do the workout? Can I do, another rest day? And I would say these stretches at night, even if they are not long, because you do them every day almost, it's really going to help you with muscle soreness and have some time to like unwind and be ready for the next day. So I would say I'm guilty of not really doing it the first 2 weeks, I would say. And then I've not missed a day. It's really useful. Mm-hmm. Really, really useful.
Very cool. Well, I'm excited. I know that that's something that I need to work really hard on incorporating into my routine because, like Katie, I'm guilty. I fall asleep with the TV on. It's kind of like my way of falling asleep at night. So I'm excited to see like what it does for me in that standpoint. And so I want to open it up now to everybody to either you can unmute yourself and ask these ladies some questions that you guys are wanting to know about when it comes to 9-week control freak, or you can put it up in the group chat or on the little chat message here. And let's get some questions just for these ladies when it comes to their overall experience that they had with 9-week control freak. So Becca wants to know about your guys' results. She says, y'all look amazing. So let's hear about it. What, Becca, is there something specific that you want to know about their results?
I was hoping for like numerical, just because I feel like I'm just curious about what I could do for myself. So just curious what they.
I think I know that I just gained like a lot of muscle and whatnot. So my inches per se, like I guess overall was only 10.5 inches, but heck, I mean, I'm so proud of it. But like 4.5 of that was from my waist. So that was like really awesome. And like finally fitting into pants like pre-baby body is like, oh, I didn't even think it would ever happen again, you know? Especially like my lower abdomen is just like shot after having a kid, right? So like finally squeezing into those pants was like a huge like, and then as far as like weight wise, I think it was only about 5-6 pounds, but still, again, every little bit helps, and I feel amazing, and my legs are a lot smaller or more toned and whatnot. It's just, I don't know, I just feel better overall.
Yeah, and 10.5 inches is a lot, so please don't discredit yourself.
I know, but like, I mean, again, you're not supposed to compare yourself, but when you see some of the other people in the test group, you're like, whoa, like, what kind of Kool-Aid are they drinking? Or like my homegirl in France over here, like, her rockin' bod.
On the other side of the pond, what kind of water do they got over there? Yeah, no, like, I don't want you guys to discredit, because both of you guys, like Becca said, both of you guys have had a tremendous results. And like me knowing you guys personally, not only your physical results, but your guys' mentality and just outlook on life and goals and ambition, like, has been incredible to watch. And so don't discredit yourself, Katie, because I know the numbers thing can sometimes, you can be like, well, the other people in the group lost this amount and that amount. And it's like, no, like, whatever number you lose is phenomenal and something to celebrate. So Monday, do you want to give us your eight weeks?
Yeah, and you know also what I would say about the way you lose is you cannot lose like tremendous, and she talks about it a lot in that case, Autumn, and she like, you cannot lose like, I don't know, like 20 pounds every week or whatever, or every month. I mean, at some point you will not exist anymore. I mean, at some point your body needs to stop losing weight, or you just have to gain muscle. I mean, you need to be healthy. So me, I think I think kilos is by 2 pounds, so it should be 4.5 pounds. Yes, that should be that. And I didn't take my inches yet, so it will be middle of next week when I finish week 9. And well, I mean, you saw the photo, so I've lost a lot in the middle section again. So she's making your middle sections work a lot. So you really lose a lot of inches in that area. I've begun since March. I've lost only fat, and I've gained muscle at the same time. I have kind of a track, so just to track that, because of course I want to lose weight, but healthy, not like just losing muscle. That's not my point. And I would say the muscle gain, you have definitely more toned legs because you work your legs every day, basically. And I would say the upper back, the shoulders, the biceps and triceps, especially, I really don't like my arms. It's really the one thing I really want to work on when I joined Beachbody. And I think that's the first time even my boyfriend was like, what the fuck? You really have a lot of muscle growing up in that area. So that's crazy. I mean, I really feel more toned, especially in the upper back. I really like that. So I would say that program really, really makes you work your back a lot. We especially with the tracker. The tracker is great for that exercise. Well, a lot of questions.
So we had both Astea and Sam asked about like what was the biggest thing that you were able to take control of over the last 9 weeks? Like the program's called Control Freak. What did you feel like you were able to take control of, maybe besides the workouts, when it came to your overall health and fitness or life?
Yeah, I mean, I guess for me it was sorry, I'm gonna get a little emotional, but so my husband, like during phase 2, told me that he wanted to split up, and so for me, it just like really helped me mentally, like stay on track with the workout and whatnot. Like, so that was like what I could focus on. Like, that's like my mentality was just like, okay, this is something that you can control when your whole life is not really in your control and whatnot. So for me, it really was about the workout and taking control of that. So I felt like really proud of myself that I like pushed through and did everything regardless of what was happening in my life. And then even like in work too, just again, things that I know that I can control. And just like kind of like changing your mentality and whatnot, or you can control how you react to something. And so now that like I've gone through it and whatnot, I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like it's like really helped me like focus on like what's important and like change the way you view things and how like you can kind of like control how you react to something. So a little emotional.
We all love you.
Yeah, I
think you all just like all of our hearts
but
are just like, can we come hug you?
I know. I just want to be transparent and whatnot, you know, and that was the biggest thing that happened to me during this program, and it was great because it was something I knew that I could still just take control of. So
thank you for sharing.
oh, of course.
Monday, your turn. What did you control? She's like, I don't want to follow this right
Yeah,
now.
I'm like, yeah, what? Well, I think for me it was my nutrition, because being back to France after being in the UK was like, oh my God, all the good food. So I was like just eating everything that was coming through me. I was like eating pain au chocolat and croissant every day. I was like, that's so good. So of course, after coming back and all the movings and stuff, basically my nutrition was not exemplary at all. So I was like, okay, with this program, I need to do something. And the first 2 weeks, I didn't do it. So I did a group with my French team, and we just tried to really dive into my nutrition, that they really helped me with that. And I think the program, I was like, I don't know if you put them down also, Katie, but like she's always saying some motivational quotes, Autumn, and some of them are really, really funny. And they're like, don't expect to have, I mean, if you do 80% of the work, don't like expect 80% of the results. Or if you don't want to be the one at the end of the test group to be the one, oh, I didn't have so much result because of that. You don't want to be that person. So she's just giving you so much motivation to like, you need to dial into your rest, your stretch, your workouts, and your nutrition. And clearly my nutrition was the point, which was really difficult for me. So I think it was another question. Yes, I followed UPF because clearly me with my nutrition, I mean, the to be mindset, I think it's based on emotions. So I will eat everything. So I need something controlled, clearly, for me. And I even did some ultimate reset, which also is on the platform. And it really helped me to take control, to think like, what do you need to eat? Are you really hungry? Or is it just emotional eating? And I really reset my way of eating for, it's going to be 5 weeks. No alcohol for 5 weeks, which is really difficult for French. I just want some wine. It's like my boyfriend is always like having some wine with dinner. I'm like, So it's just a way of, can you do that for you? Are you able to take control of that? Because I always find excuses like, oh, I'm sad, oh, I had a bad day at work, oh, I just want to eat all the things, I don't want to do my workout. And I think that workout is every day, I'm like motivating myself like, oh no, you need to do it, oh, it's going to be fun, you're going to feel so great after it, or you're going to be so proud of you. So I think this program is giving you some little reward, and you're like, oh yes, I've done it. So I think that's the really difference I've seen with other programs, and which the program motivates me to go back to my nutrition instead of saying like, oh, I don't care, I can take it back later. Or so I think that was my biggest change. Yeah.
That's awesome. So fitness and taking just control of our lives and what we can control. It's awesome. That's, you guys are, I'm like, is it Monday yet? Like, how much longer until we can finally get our hands on this program? But I've always been an autumn freak. Autumn changed my life twice. So I've been excited about this, but hearing you guys adds like this whole nother level of like, cool. Jill asked, did the program feel long? Did it feel like 80 days feels like 80 freaking days? By the time you hit day 80 and day 80 and 80 day obsession, you're like, holla freaking hallelujah, this day is finally here. I can't wait to put this program behind me and move on to the next one, which kind of also gets into Shelly's question with the getting bored, right? Like we all, these longer programs, the programs that are usually more than 4 or 5 weeks, like there hits a sense of boredom in the program. So did the workouts feel long, or did you ever feel bored within the program?
So I started back working out with Morning Meltdown 100. And so like, that's also like a long program, right? And that like felt long, and it took me pretty much throughout all of like quarantine and whatnot. And so, and then I did, went right into MBF, and like, that almost like felt too short, And so like, I think that this is like a great balance. And then kind of what we've touched on about the workouts is that every workout is different except for 9 workouts, right? Or no, not 9 workouts, 3 workouts, right? There's the total body control or whatever and whatnot. It's the same. So every single day is different. And then she changes up your rest day every phase. So like, that's nice. And then she also every phase changes up the format. So you're not going to have like this same thing in a row, right? Like phase 1, we started off with DCT and then went right into Tabata. Whereas like phase 2, she's like, oh, hey, Tabata's your first workout. And you're like, like, so it's, it changes so much. And I feel like that's maybe a part of the beauty of it is like, she does want you to like take control and whatnot, but it's just it's so different. So no, I didn't get bored at all.
Yeah, I would say that the phase looks like 3 programs because she changed the warm-up. She's always taking you to the next step. Like every day you're like, oh, I will die, you don't know in which state you will finish the day. But it's like at the end, Tabata cardio is my preferred one because it's like 18 minutes instead of like 25. So it's like, oh, I have 7 minutes less. So that's great. So it's like every day, like Katie said, is really different. Every phase is different. So even me, I mean, it seems like a long time because when I remember when I began phase 1, I was working out in my living room. Then I was in my little hallway. So I see the difference. I'm like, whoa, it's been a long time. And I remember what I was doing. And I was like, oh, that was so easy at the time. And so you feel like you've done a lot of accomplishments and you had a long time between your first day and your last day. And you see the difference, which is great. But I would say like I arrived to week 9 and I'm like, I don't feel bored, or I want more. In fact, it's going to be weird to go back to another program, which is not the same, because I like to do another program between to not to really feel bored and do like 18 weeks of Control Freak. Please don't. So it's like, I mean, for example, 10 rounds, when I did it the second time, I couldn't finish it because I got bored quite easily. I thought it was too much of a repetition, even if I love boxing. And this one, it's flying by. And 9 weeks, 45 workouts. So it's not like 80 days obsession where I think it's every day. No, I never did it, but I think it's every day.
Pretty much. It's very close.
Yeah, and it's an hour a day. So, I mean, that's why I don't want to do this one. So I think 9 week Control Freak, it's a really great way of, you get in, you get out, you die on the floor, but you're so proud of yourself and you really see the result. And I think that's why you're really looking forward to the next week, because you just want to see more of what you can accomplish, of what you can do, even to like when you see the move and you're like, okay, I'm not sure I can do it, but you just want to try. It's more like a game, because sometimes the moves are really like, you never seen it. Really, you're like, oh, did she come up with that? And so you really want to try. It's more like a game. So I think that's why it helps to not feel bored over the 9 weeks of the program.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, I don't have any other questions. I don't see any other questions in the chat for you ladies, unless anybody else has a question and they want to unmute themselves to ask a question here to either of these incredible ladies.
Rest days are important. Like, you'll hear that she calls us out, like, during filming. She's like, oh, in my test group, they were complaining about wanting to push through rest days and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, rude, but she does, she calls us out and she's like, take your darn rest days, like, do it and recover in conjunction, in combination with the controlled stretches will really help your soreness and whatnot. Like, that was my saving grace, was recover for this program. Like, I would for sure try to push the performance pack in my opinion, but you know what, and then no pregnant women. Also, I wanted to add that too. Pregnant people should not do this program. So.
Yes, thank you. Good ad. And I like the recover piece, because I know sometimes I'm like, oh, that workout wasn't that difficult. I wasn't working that hard. I don't need to drink my recover. So remembering your recover is, we'll have to make sure that everybody has their energize and recover. Awesome, ladies. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to grab a picture. I tried to take one and I'm like, you know what? We're just going to take one really quick with you guys, because you guys killed it. And I could not be prouder of the two of you and just your hard work and dedication. It's all Once Upon a Fitness people here. So that is awesome. I'm so happy that you guys were able to do this for us. Awesome. Sam, I'm going to give you 2 seconds to see if you want to pop your camera on. She might not. Okay. Oh, there she is. There she is. Okay. 1, 2. I'm going to do a boomerang. So 3. Awesome, ladies. Well, thank you again, Katie and Amandine. I know I am so ready for Monday. I cannot wait to get this program and to get started with you ladies and to just experience all that you guys have experienced. Hearing your guys' stories, watching your guys' journeys has been incredible, and I know that this is going to bring just amazing things to our team. If anybody has any just other follow-up questions as you think about through the day, feel free to send them to me and I can forward them to Katie and Amandine. Feel free to put them in group chats. Feel free to put them in our Let's Take Control group so that people can see them in our Let's Take Control group. This has been recorded, so I am going to stop